positive, but I think so. Okay, so the lights are working, as you can see. I think you can see that green light. Well, there's a white one on the top and there's a red one on the other side that you're not seeing. But we can work that with this remote. This one works the yellow strobe. And it turns it on and turns it. Originally, it needed two channels for that. One to turn it on and another channel to make it turn. So I said, nah, let's jump that. You know, you got the strobe to show something to turn, you know, so let's turn. Why have to worry about two things? Okay, so that takes care of that one. Now this one is this blank here. This one is the one that's supposed to be working this board to work these servos that Ray put together here. Let's see what I can do. Something not working right here. The light's blinking. So that's telling me we have something there. I don't know if you can see the light blinking. So the light's telling me that we have voltage. So the voltage is coming in off of 12 volts, coming into this system here, dropping down to 8 volts, and then coming up into this system, which is the timer, to control the module here for those to work. But somewhere here we got a little bit of an issue. Okay, so it comes down from the main 12 down into the regulator board, if that's what you want to call it, the voltage board, because this was the one that I put together 3 years ago. It used to be 12 volt in, 19 out, because I needed 20 volts. And that's what it was. So I took it and I changed the input. I dropped that down so that the output is now 8. 7 and a 5 to 8, somewhere in that area. It doesn't go over 8. And then I checked with Ray to make sure the boards that he had put together would be okay with 8 volts, and he said yes. So this board is controlling the voltage to that board, because that's the timer that's blinking on and off. So this thing should work. So why isn't it now working? Okay, I just turned it off. Now I'm turning it on. And it starts to blink again. So this is going on, but it's not controlling anything over here. And it should be. Now, wait a minute. Let's make sure we got voltage coming into the main. What's this wire for? Okay, that's got voltage on it. That shouldn't have anything to do with what's there. Alright, let's get the meter out here, find out if we're seeing any kind of voltages in or out of the servo board. Okay, so if I put this one in here, hopefully I can get this in there without it screwing up. Come on, come in. Okay. This one is going to be a problem. This one is a problem. out of here into this white one. And this white one is going down into here. So that would be one of these. See, this is doing nothing other than turning that on and off. So that's all working to there. So now, where are we? That's the problem there. What do we got here? Let's try this power. That one there, and this one here. Okay, so now this is showing 1.7 volts. See, I don't know what should be coming out of that. Even if I adjust the timer, it's really not doing anything, and it really shouldn't. It's a timer, it's not so much anything else. Okay, so not being able to get to there, let's go over here, see if I can get into one of these. And over here, here's one of the problems. When Ray put that board together, he reversed the red and black, which means we had to reverse the red and blacks here, which means I got to make sure that everything is that way, because we have red going into black. So is it a red or is it a black? You follow me? I think this is a black. I'm not positive. So let's find out what we have. Turn that off. This, see, I can't put this kind of voltage into that circle. I can't put 12 volts in there. It's almost like this part here has an issue. And that's on a plug. And I even got a little bit of hot glue on it so it couldn't come loose. Alright, let's try it over here, see what we have. I know, guys, it's boring when you're not watching something as we work on and destroy. I try to be aware of that because at one time I would be working on something and talking about it, but I got the camera over here because I'm paying attention to what I'm doing, so I'm moving the camera out of the way, but I don't focus it back. And I'm doing better with that. And the other day I was watching a video about a guy working on his boat on a, what the hell was he talking about? Some type of a quick disconnect or something. And he's got the camera facing underneath the seat or something, and he's working over here. And you hear him talking, but you don't see what he's doing. And I'm saying, well, this is a smart move. I almost wanted to say, hello, been there, done that, reshoot, but I'm not a troll. Nothing. So we have voltage coming to there. So why don't we have it coming out of there? Let's see. There's 1.1. Well, that's not right. That's a minus. Okay, so that means we got to reverse this one. I don't know why he did that. I really don't know. When I do it that way, it doesn't show voltage. When I do it red to red, black to black, it shows reverse. So what do we have in here? What is it that we've done? This is the 12 volt coming in. Right, I took care of that. That goes through the board that I made. Day after what's on their mind. You know, they do these things and sometimes it eats at them forever. You know, so, you know, what can I have done different? You know, and if you can't figure it out and let it go, it just stays with you. You know, so anyway, you know, you gotta sometimes forgive them for being pricks. So, but at that point, I gotta figure this out. I thought we were ready to go. So here's what I mean about when you get things working one at a time, when you start to put things together, is starting having problems. And this is what's going on, because this board was working, that board was working, and my board was working separately. Everything was fine. Working off of a 9-volt battery, everything was fine. You start putting things together and tying them in permanently, the same wire for wire, just that it's more of a permanent instead of clips, and things stop working. So what do? You know, it's one of those things where you got to start screwing around, and again, more time. This is what happens, and this is why it's taking so long. Yeah, you have to. And I'm not making excuses for it, you know, because I don't work on it every day. Sometimes it'll sit here for 2 days and I won't do anything to it. Because I do have other things I have to do, you know. I don't, you know, live in an apartment to where everybody takes care of it for me. You know, I don't live in a condo where I don't have to do anything. You know, and I got things to do. You know, I want to get the living room painted. You know, I want to, you know, get a couple of the cabinets. I actually like to redo the cabinets in the kitchen. I mean, we put them in there 10 years ago, you know, with new countertops and everything. But yeah, you start, well, you know what? I may want to brighten it up a little bit. You know, so do I want to do new cabinets or I want to do a new finish? Because these new finishes look really good. You know, you just got to have the time. That's another thing. I don't want to have this when I'm trying to do that, and that when I'm trying to do this. So all these little things take time. And that's all there is to it. You know? All right. I even got my radios out there. You know, I got all those radios, all kinds of money tied up in antennas and radios, and I haven't talked on them in over a year. You know, the only one I've talked on is the one with the Coast Guard emergency. So, you know, we do our check-ins, and even last month I forgot it because I was working on this. They had a Zoom meeting. It started, I think, at 7:30, and this was another night. Started at 7:30 and went on to like 9:30, but I'm working on this. My mind isn't even thinking of that, you know, and I didn't finish up with this until like 10:30, 11 o'clock that night. you know, and I go in, I say, oh shit, there was a meeting tonight, you know. But Tom gives me a text saying, what's going on with the AuxNet? I said, oh, I'm ready. I'll be there tonight. He says, it was last night. Yeah. So, what are you going to do? You know, it's just like I say, you get sometimes too much on your plate. I should have just said no in the very beginning. But eventually I probably would have ended up with it. And who knows what else would have been wrong with it. You know, and like I say, I'm not knocking anybody for working on it. But if you're not sure, don't start. Don't try. Keep track of what you do. Write it down. Draw it. Do something, you know. Because at this point, there's a lot wrong with it. And there's a lot going wrong with it because it's so old. You fix one thing, and the other thing says, well, I can't take that now because I'm older and he's newer, you know. So, but, so that's where we're at. Now I'm sitting here talking only because I'm trying to decide if I want to rip this board apart again. I really don't know. I hate to deal with wires because once you start screwing around with these wires, you don't know if they're going to break off the board, if they're going to break themselves within the casing. You just don't know what's going on. Now I know the boards aren't shorting out against one another because that was a concern of mine. And I know that that's not happening.